Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's all praise thanks the praise of thanks the praise of Allah Amen. For the birth of grace and the joy of all us can still gather this peace with a match any berries at all and in good health, not forgetting the salawat and greeting we pour out the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us out of dark age to the era to the era of recollect today. Many Islam may it interaction on my will about football and the history of the sport of football began in the 2N and 3N countries BC in China. Uh, during during the Han Disney, people dribbled later built by casting them into small nets. A similar game is also played in Japan as Kamari. In Italy, the game of kicking the ball was also popular, uh, especially from the 16th century. Modern football began to develop in England by establishing basic rules and became very popular with many people. In some competition, the game caused so much violence during the match. The King Edward III finally played the sport. Uh, in 1003, 103,065, King James I of Scotland also sported a ban on playing football. In 108,015, a major development caused football to become popular in universities and schools. The birth of modern football took place at the Freemason Tavern in one in 108,063 when 11 school and club came together and formulated the standard rules of the game. At the same time, three is a clear separation between rugby and football. In 108,069, Carrying the ball by hand was better in football. During the 108,000 second, the sport was brought by British sailors, merchants, and soldiers to various parts of the world. In 109,004, the supreme exercise of the world, football, FIFA, uh, was formed and in the early 106,000 hours various competition were played in various countries. The sport is also popular, especially from the 16th century. And two, football field. For other international matches, the international football field used range from 1,000 um, until 2000 until 2020 20 meters in like an 65 until 75 meters in width. In the middle of both ends of the field, there is a golf area in the form of rectangle measuring 732 meters wide and 244 meters high. In front of the goal, there is a penalty area, which is a 16.5 meter from the goal. This area is the limit where goalkeepers violation gets a penalty or not. And game time, the normal like of a score game is 2x 45 minutes plus li- uh, plus 15 minutes between the two halves. If the question is equal, then an extra time of 2x x 15 maybe 15 minutes will be held until the winner is overtaken. But if both are strong, a penalty should or will be held. The the we help the refer may determine the amount of extra time. At the end of each half, as a substitute for time lost due to subsistence, Uh, Injuries requires assistance or other systems. This additional time is referred to as injury time or stump time. Goals scored in extra time will count towards the final score of the match, whether a goal from a penalty shoot or out. Only Draymond, if uh, if a, if a team can advance to the next match, to the match to the next match for or not does not affect the final score. In the late 1000 100 XCN 99, the International Football Association burned out EFAB. Apparently, golden gold or silver gold system to complete the match. In the gold system, the time the score first during extra time will be the winner, will in the silver gold team leading at the end of the first half of extra time will come out the winner. And offense on ball. If a player commits a violation that is hard enough, the referees can give a warning with a yellow card or a red card. The match will be stopped for a moment and the referee will show the card in front of the offending player and record his name in the book. A yellow card is a warning for a violation, such as being unsportsmanlike, continuously breaking the rules, disagreeing with what are action, delaying the restart of the match, going in and out of the match without the referee is a profile or not, keeping a distance from opposing players who are taking free kick or throw in. The player will receive two yellow cards, will get a red card, and exit game. Red card. Exit game. A red card. The player who gets a red card must leave the match without being replaced by another player. Some examples of action that can be rewarded with a red card are also vessel, death and negar. can be rewarded with a red card or just feels that counting in fields. Fielding on opposite who is trying to score a goal, touching the ball with his hands to prevent a goal for our player as the goalkeeper. And using language or gesture to do killing a player who play as goalkeeper does a handsball outside the penalty box. Reference a match officer. In a professional match, there are four officers, who lead the game. Namely, the referee, two left judges, an officer on the edge of the set of the field, and the goal bearer is on the edge of the goal. The referee has a wisdom in deciding whether to stop or start playing the ball. He is he is also in charge of giving punishment and warnings for violations that are in the field. As land guards is responsible for everything half of the field. The car is on or outside. Usually the wheel moves to follow the position of the last defender. Okay, the final official has the text of recording all the time. That was stopped during the match and providing information about the extra time at the end of its half. This officer is also in charge of seeking substitution and being a liaison between team manager and referees. In some games, the use of video technology or the use of fifth person to determine the exterior of the reef. And this station is being used for example. Determining whether a ball has crossed the line or whether a player is in an outside state when scoring a goal. And, and is football. This and player the basic position of the player can be modified into various. The first various uh, the various battles are game testing. Some of the players petas that are often used in various championship are 4-4-2, most often used, and 3-4-1. Strength lies in the middle of the field. And for 3-3, classic formation from the 100, 100 to 108 and 9017 art, which is often used to build what's a German total football system. Uh, International champions in football. The oldest international competition in the world is the Copa America, which pits teams in the South American region. Referred to as the fifth Copa America, was held in 2016 and was participated by 10 countries which actually formed the South American Football Confederation. Campbell. The Confederation of North Central America and Caribbean. Hmm. Association football and CONCACAF organize an international competition every 4 years called the CONCACAF World Cup in the ASEAN region, including Australia and Timor-Leste. Uh, the countries that are members of the ASEAN Football Confederation and EFC they held the first international competition at the ASEAN level in 1200 at one 109,056 in Hong Kong. Called the Asian Cup. In 1916, European religions competition was held for the first time under the name Arabian Nations Cup, which was later referred to as the UEFA European Championship, European Cup, or Euro in the Arsenal relegation in New Zealand and First Pacific Island. In international competition, after 2 years traveling in 106 2016, 100 109,096 is called the Asian Cup for the African region. The Africa Cup of Nations competition has been held since 1957 in Court. Uh, and then chef football is a many people like football because football is in popular in Indonesian. Basic score record hack when ten score of passing the ball or passing. The first tense internet player circle is to pass the ball or often referred to as pass. Football is a team game, not individual. So you need to you need to master the tenth hint of passing the ball well. This is important to do work together to score goals against the opponent. In football, there are different types of passing the ball, such as short passes, crosses, the right ball, and cross. Uh, Touch hikers to stop or counter the ball. After you are passed by a teammate, you must be able to stop the ball. The thinker is called stop ball or stop ball. Stop ball can be done by any part of the body except the hand. Can be with legs, the teeth of the head. You have to practice the basic the key of stop ball circle because the element is very important. If you are not able to stop the ball well, it will be easy for your opponent to take possession of the ball. Dribbling. Dribbling takes or carrying the ball or dribbling. Next is the basic texture of dribbling football. Now let's go to the two first texture. Dribbling is a mandatory component. The most we master in the game of soccer. Dribbling. The ball will break your crossed off to the open defense area where Victor. It is necessary to have special ability in the stage. The must be hard training. Teach or king the ball or shooting. Next is the technique of kicking the ball or shooting. This technique can be said to be the game. The rest is kick the ball is enter the ball into the up and it's go. Hitting touch. Oh, hitting. Feet are the most dominant body part as in soccer. However, the basic soccer to be handle the net to be master the net is the ability to hit the ball with the head. Generally, hitting the ball is accompanied by a jump, so you have to get used to hitting and jumping at the same time. There are many uses for hitting a ball or hitting in soccer, like passing, blocking, and scoring goal with header. The superstar player Cristiano Ronaldo is known as a master hitter in front of the open score because he has little jump and hits the often red in goals. Typical of seizing the ball and are thick. In addition to acting skills, another basic soccer skill that is no less important is the ability to win the ball. Uh, in soccer, comparing the ball is called tackle. Tackle is not only synonymous with sliding hard, but with you being able to grab the ball from your opponent's feet, including tackle. No matter what teacher you ask if you can do the ball. It's called a tackle. The first generally must be equipped with this ability in order to able to grab the ball and prevent the team from conquering by cutting the by getting the are intercam. Another skill in playing soccer is the thinking of cutting the butt of what is cut the intent. Whatever the action, if you are able to cut or stop your open path, it can interpret. This ability is fairly important because it can start the opponents can divide by all parts of the body, including past the head. And then cutting the ball. The basic tense hickory of the soccer game is an ability that must be mastered by soccer players in the goalkeeper position. Because it is the duty of a goalkeeper to keep his goal from kick or header from opponents. Therefore, he must be able to catch the ball carefully that leads to the goal. There are many goalkeeper attributes that must be mastered, not just chasing. For example, uh, because it's the duty of goalkeeper to keep his goal from kick or header from opponent. Therefore, he must be able to catch the ball carefully then leads to the goal. There are many goalkeeper attributes that must be mastered, not just getting. For example, cutting pass in the air and punching or blocking the ball near the goal. And dead ball, kicking the tank. Sometimes goals can be scored in set piece situation or free kick. Uh, so there is nothing wrong if you master the basic things of soccer at the one. Because if in normal situation goal are difficult to make, free kick are an alternative to must be always. And throw in take then he could. If the ball goes out of bounds on of the team will benefit and be impeded to throw the ball by hand. This Tenchikui is indeed quite minor in a much buzz in today's world era. football era becomes irrelevant through its us and advantageous moment to score goals. And then the history of the emergence of football in Indonesia. Football in Indonesia emerged since the Dutch colonial era. In other words, the nation people announced game because it was brought by them. Uh, Mar Princely on 1114 and intercity football competition on the island of Java was held. The first total language began in that era, potentially around the 100 and 9030 years. It was also this year the modern football began to show its shape with began to show its shape with the establishment of PSSI, All Indonesian Football Association, on April 19 in Yogyakarta. And that time PSSI was carried by Sorat in Sumsrogodo because it was born in the dark colonial era. PSSI is closely related to political active against coalition and relegation of Indonesian by long story short, the competition or language entered by PSSI has attracted uh, a lot of world attention, especially because it's still involves the Netherlands. Slowly in 1000 and 9038, Indonesia Indonesian quit friend for the World Cup. However, there are many problems related to Indonesian participation in this most previous football event. Possession PSSI on the Seratin when players from Indonesia to play, however. In the end, the squad on behalf of Indonesia at that time did not consist of PSSI players at all used the issue. Netherlands, India's football union. Five. Football Ignition Parade. At the time of Operation Independence, PSS, Nimble interaction is spreading to 14, 14 cities will having to give of football. This is the to the Arif of Java as the next colonizer. Group Our group activities, including score must always be under deepened supervision until finally there is no football in the colonial era of this country. After achieving full independence in 1955, football in Indonesia was reviewed. One of the moments of the return of football was the PON national sports which in 1948 finally PSSI returned to being the main backbone of football in the country in 1950. The language was back on and in the same year Persib Bandung come out as the national champion in Semarang, defeating Persebaya Surabaya in the two party. PSSI stars instituting first football competition formats along with the development of football. PSSI also began to improve the competition format began to make safe event talk. It was originally called the Premier Division, namely a language format but was divided into two Western and Eastern regions. Then there are division 1 and 2 for professionals and division. There are amateur. PSSE has also began to pay attention to the importance of women's football holding competition in a developed by U15 and 17 uh, to
21 and 25. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.